Music, teaching, sleeping. Yeah, that's all you really need, I think. Maybe some food sometimes. I know M. Williams is watching from his car, uh, riding around. Be safe. Don't try to follow the code too closely. Chasing down quiet time. Yeah, I've really been relishing my quiet time lately. Um, it's weird, like so much of the way Sage and I have our lives structured, it's already very quiet, and but I can easily make a lot of noise for myself in my own mind, and yeah, it's weird. I snap out of it and realize that it's quiet time, but there's all this psychic turmoil happening. So yeah, I had to like stop watching the news a couple days ago and stop. Well, I don't watch the news, but I'm in discords and stuff with people that follow current events and do really critical analysis of it, and going on Twitter and everything, and it's just yeah, it's hard. So, anyways, tonight we are going to learn about substitution ciphers. I took a poll in the Discord about what we wanted to talk about. Felt like there was energy around doing some more code related stuff. Sort of me working with Lua today. If you've got a Norns, you can follow along. Most of this code should work without a Norns too if you want to work just locally or in a browser or something. I'm using a Norns because we get to have a separate screen for it, and it's just fun to work on. So I actually intentionally didn't prepare a lot for this, meaning I don't exactly know what I'm going to do because I wanted to go through my software design process as well. So basically that means from requirements gathering and defining scope of what we're going to build, starting all the way back there. Normally I would do that pre-work ahead of stream, but I wanted to kind of expose that tonight. So we're going to be making some notes about what we want this thing to do. So at the very basic level, a substitution cipher is simply, I don't know about you, but I did this a lot in grade school with friends. We would write in Pigpen to each other, which is one type of substitution cipher. This one's pretty fun. You can just about memorize it. You draw two tic-tac-toe grids and then two X's, and then that makes 26 spaces, and you fill in the letters. And then each of these symbols becomes simply a substitution cipher. So if I wanted to spell Tyler, it would be, this arrow, T, this arrow with a dot, Y, right angle with a dot L, square for E, right angle with a dot R. So that's a symbolic substitution cipher. Tonight we're going to be working with a just basic, believe it's a Caesar cipher. So in cryptography, a Caesar cipher is also known as a shift cipher. It's one of the simplest and most widely known encryption techniques. Is a type of substitution cipher in which each letter in the plain text is replaced by a letter some fixed number of positions down the alphabet. For example, the left shift of 3, D would become replaced by A, E would B, and so on. Supposedly Caesar used this in his private correspondence. I find that really hard to believe, but I find that hard to believe because it's such a simple cipher to crack, but maybe that's just because I'm coming at this from having lived with computers my entire life. So this graphic shows it really well. You have basically two alphabets, and then you just shift one. So the plain text gets shifted over. In this example, it's shifted over 3 spaces. So E becomes B, F becomes C, D becomes A. So what we want to do is we want to be able to enter a string. So a string is any message, it could be anything. We want to be able to get the ciphertext back. Then we want to be able to enter ciphertext, and then we want to be able to get the plain text back. So the thinking would be you could take a message, run it through this program, you'd get ciphertext, you can send it to your friend, and if they also have the program, they could enter the ciphertext and get the plain text back. I've been doing a decent amount of work at my day job lately with cryptography, and I was learning about salts and hashes this week. And one thing I want to bring into this is the notion of so let's see. If you're familiar with the crypt library or the bcrypt hash generator and verifier, this is an open source library. It's a cryptographic hashing algorithm recommended for password hashing. But what I found really neat about it was it prefixes the hash with the algorithm, the salt, a cost, and the hash. So what I thought would be cool is if we sort of copy this design and also had a shift amount prepended to everything. So we're just going to do $, and then a number for the shift amount, and then the ciphertext is going to come after it. And this will, in the context of a substitution cipher, it's kind of silly to have that prepended. But again, we're not using this for like secure messaging or anything like that. We're using this just for learning. So this number that we're going to wrap in $, is going to tell us how many characters we need to shift our ciphertext over by. And yeah, if we can do all that in about an hour, I would be pretty happy with tonight. So let's get some tunes going. I'm gonna be heads down coding a lot. Definitely encourage interaction still, but this will probably be more of a less talking than other streams have been.